nze Ntongo Flon,
Christine Sendi,
Mwanje Steven Kabarana,
Serunya Anes Kaddu.
eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze nnyo.
Sawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
At its
Nange
core,
kwendi.
film is much more than the lights, the camera, and the action. Good evening and welcome to the Film Agenda 256. My name is Patrick Sentongo. Now tonight on the show we are going to be discussing the new era of film distribution, and Muzei Bwanika, the Executive Secretary of Palwood, which is the umbrella body for Ugandan filmmakers, is going to be joining me as we digest these matters, distribution in the film industry. Muzei Bwanika, good evening and welcome to the show.
Hey, good evening, and I'm humbled to join you this evening. I know it's been a long time, but it's been a marathon of activities.
Yeah. I rarely come through to the Film Agenda 256. The last time I was here, I was still with you and the studio almost caught fire. I think it's the reason today you came dressed.
So you had fired me.
Today you're dressed covered in clothes that speak to the coldness in the room. This time we are so much well prepared to counterattack the fire that can come through. But the discussion today is around distribution. And for me, when I look at the film industry in the region, I look back and understand that there has been a lot of growth in regards to talent, production, but also the very core stories that are told in the region. But one thing has remained clear and apparent, the issue of distribution. Our stories are rich, the production is way up there, we have the talent, but the stories are not out there, people are not consuming the stories. So one gets to think, is it an issue of our people, the audiences themselves, or there are very many other factors to it? Because when you look at some of the content that is being consumed locally here, much of it is even pirated. And I want to kick it off from there, Muzei Bwanika. Why is distribution the new battleground for you filmmakers? I won't only keep it to Uganda. I've been in engagements where filmmakers have gathered from within the region to discuss the same.
Yes, distribution is not just about film. Distribution is something that cuts across. Actually, the agriculturalists, be it medicine, everywhere. I think it befits the logic if you engage into any activity that is not going to reward you at the end of the day. Be it the teacher, the education system. It's about distribution. So I think when it comes to creative arts, without distribution, then there is no reason as to why any artist could actually engage in whatever they are doing, be it music. Because at the end of the day, it is through distribution that probably creators are rewarded. And I think it is becoming a global issue that every creator now wants to earn from their creation. We take our children to school to study art, not just to give it out for free, but the end result, we want them to earn something. At the end of the day, you're like, okay, my child is excelling, is doing well, but you can imagine a world where filmmakers are not rewarded for what they do. So it befits the reason as why we should create more.
I get you right there. When I talked about the issue of distribution not only affecting us as Ugandans or the Ugandan film industry, it's a regional issue. Actually, I might say even a continental issue. At the very start of this particular month, there was the Eastern Africa Filmmakers Summit that brought filmmakers in their various leadership structures from within the Eastern African region. I'm glad I was part of that particular one. I saw filmmakers from countries neighboring Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, even some came as far as, not as far, but Zambia was part of that representation, Tanzania, Zanzibar. And what was the significance of this summit? Because I understand Palwood was very vocal. Palwood, where you're a leader, was very vocal in this particular summit.
So basically, the Eastern Africa Filmmakers Summit is a program under the UNESCO Refile project that is about trying to create a permanent solution to a permanent problem of the film sector in the region. We realized when you look back in 2019 when we started with the EU UNESCO Film Project, and then around 2021 we had the Open Digital Roadmap. All these were film projects that were tailored to trying and find a problem for the regional film sector. And it has been a common denominator that what was lacking was a film market. And until you solve this common denominator, you're actually not solving anything. So the Eastern Africa Filmmakers Summit was basically to bring together leaders of the different organizations from the regions to come and we sit to discuss a common way of how to deal about a common market that we all desire. You come to Uganda, you realize that every filmmaker out there that is producing content have nowhere to sell their content. Actually, it has been normalized that filmmakers think festivals are the market for their films. Filmmakers have gotten to think that TV stations are the market to their content. Filmmakers have gotten to think, worst of all, that YouTube is a film market. So when you look at this, we don't have to deal with a symptom, but the question is, what is the cause? What is this one problem that, if solved, is going to help to solve all the other problems? So basically, the Eastern Africa Filmmakers Summit was all about bringing the heads together to see that we come up with a common direction which we have to take. Because right now as we speak, we have an idea of a market that we want to establish. The community, our society is getting digital, and we believe going digital, trying to reach our audiences digitally is the way to go. So having gotten platforms like the Stream East platform, we believe that we can now have discussions on how to go about our markets as creatives.
All right, so the very summit we are talking about outed very many, okay, not very many, but a couple of outcomes, all key decisions that we are reached, and part of those was a pact that was signed by all the member, teams that represented their respective countries. I want to pick from you, Mzee Iwanika. How does this particular pact, or what does it mean to the broader, market, or to the audiences from within the region?
Actually, the Eastern Africa Filmmakers Pact is our constitution. It is, these are the guidelines for which, because now we are talking about, we've reached a level of talking about a regional market.
Yes.
And I would want to appeal to my fellow filmmakers, let us remove the borders from our minds. It is a neo-colonial tendency. You're still under enslavement to still think that probably if you're making film, you're going to make film in your own village. So the pact are the guidelines. It's a constitution that is going to govern our collaboration. Because, we are talking about Eastern Africa. And Eastern Africa as a region, you're talking about very diverse communities, people of different understandings. Producers are going to come on board with their individualistic tendencies.
Yeah.
Every one of us, naturally, we are selfish. So the idea of a pact is to have a formal document with which we all bring our values together and eliminate those that don't work for the collective family that we are. So basically, the pact is simply a constitution. These are guidelines that inform the kind of management that is going to happen when it comes to the protection and aggregation, release of content, but as well, it is the pact that also manages and regulates the revenue share models. We don't want to have a situation where people, the Bwanikas of this world, wake up and say, this is what I want, this is what I want. The issue is, how can we have a civilized way of handling all these kind of issues? And now that we are bringing different communities together, I think it was just important for us as filmmakers. That's why you only saw leaders of organizations. Other than the government representatives, we were targeting leaders of institutions, and of course, renowned institutions in these countries. In
their respective
countries.
There
are so many filmmaker organizations, but trust me, it was not easy to identify the key ones, those that are the giants in their respective countries, jurisdictions. So basically, we were identifying these organizations, calling on to the leaders that represent the interests and values of their members.
Yes.
And now, coming up with a pact, what we call a pact, the guidelines is to simply, clearly state how we are going to work together as people from different ethnicities, from different backgrounds. What are these things that are key when it comes to our collaborative effort?
Yeah.
So the pact is simply a constitution in an ordinary way of trying to look at it, the guidelines that really govern the entire distribution.
Quite an insightful background to the pact. But I want to speak as a typical Ugandan and also for a Ugandan local filmmaker out there. This summit was hosted here in Uganda.
Yes.
You've of course given its background, and I want to understand, speaking on behalf of the local filmmaker out there, where does that Ugandan local filmmaker get to benefit directly? How does this Ugandan filmmaker get affected by this pact? All, given that the summit and the entire outcomes, everything happened in Uganda, maybe you can break the ice. Is there anything specifically for the Ugandan filmmakers? Are they getting the lion's share? I want you to break it down so that the local filmmaker gets to know how he or she benefits from this regional market.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Now speaking to a local filmmaker, I think it is time we appreciate that locality has not benefited us, for starters.
Because it's where we've been the longest.
Yes, we've been in our locality longest.
Yes.
And when you ask any filmmaker what they've gotten from the locality, the localized market, I think it is a handful of filmmakers that would give testimonies. The idea is we need to break the borders that have been put in our minds. We need to break the jurisdictions. To the Ugandan creative, to the Ugandan filmmaker, my humble appeal would be, let us start a new era of looking at bigger audiences.
Yes.
Uganda is simply 46 million people.
About there.
But now imagine when we are talking about 6 countries, we are talking about approximately a population of 200 million people. So of the 200 million people, 1% of the 200 million people would be sufficient to make a Ugandan filmmaker probably benefit from their work. So my humble appeal is, let us stop thinking local, let us think market. You know, the advantage with thinking market, with having a market perspective, you stop thinking about your family, you stop thinking about your network, and you think about your customers in the broader sense.
Yes.
So to a Ugandan filmmaker, this is something that has come to benefit you. As much as it will benefit a Kenyan filmmaker, a Tanzanian filmmaker, it is something that has come to benefit a regional filmmaker. To enable a filmmaker have a platform where they can probably put their content after production.
Yes.
So if you've been producing content for your community, your people, your village, local direct, I think it is high time that we also explore these other avenues. And I'm not saying that it is a bad thing to produce content in our local direct, but as you produce, be mindful of your market. For instance, put subtitles.
Yeah.
We have a bigger community of Swahili speaking in the region.
I look at a country like Tanzania. Zanzibar.
Yeah. So, it is in Uganda where they look at a person who speaks English as an intelligent. In Tanzania, even in court, even in parliament,
it is
Swahili. So for them, English is not a language. You go to Kenya, English is more of a second language than a first language.
Yes.
And
that's where the numbers we are.
And that's where the numbers are. That's, we are talking about consumers of our content. So it is important for us to start thinking of how we can sit on the negotiation table with our fellow colleagues from Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia. So let us embrace a market that is free from the borders.
Yeah, when you talked about local filmmakers shifting the narrative, shifting away from their localities, it brings me to the point that what they have been doing over the years, if it has not worked, it's the time they change. And if the way they used to market their work was to get your content, probably take it to a store, bring it directly one-on-one onto people, into communities, the market that is being talked about, that was part of also the outputs from this summit, is a digital market, because we are living in a digital day and age. If you talk market today, it is online. Even the normal people, the normal market that we understand where people purchase the goods, people no longer go to Nakasero. There are online markets where a person will go and order whatever they want. The same market is the one we are talking about. And as part of the outcomes from the Eastern African Filmmakers Summit was a platform renowned or known as the Stream East platform, which is what we are calling the market in this particular discussion. I wanted to give a brief background about Stream East as we digest it fully on the panel.
You've already said it all about Stream East. It is basically a market. We've had a longer history as Pearlwood. We've had a longer history of trying to create markets here. And you remember in 2019, 2020, when we came up with Chibande Express, of course, and our shortcomings.
A few partnerships in there as well.
Partnerships in there. So we've had quite a longer journey, and we came to realize that probably most of the service providers have interests, primary interests, and Stream East, unlike others, is a platform that caters for the primary interest of the filmmakers. We are trying to ensure that we have a platform where content creators will have their interests paid attention to. Like I said, we've had this long journey. Not to say that all our previous partners are bad. No, we still have partners that we are working with when it comes to distribution. But when it comes to online distribution, we really identified that probably we need a platform that understands and looks at the interest of the content creator first, the interest of a filmmaker in particular first. So the Stream East is like any ordinary OTT platform, over-the-top platform, where content creators do bring their content. It's onboarded and probably distributed to the region, the Eastern Africa region, and to the world, of course, because we've integrated payment gateways that have Visa card provision. So even audiences beyond Eastern Africa could actually access our content via that. We are trying to finalize the app on Play Store. We believe by next week it will be available. It will be in production for our customers on Play Store. But the site, as of now, is fully operational. So when you go to your Google Chrome or
the search engine,
to any search engine, and type in www.streameastfilms.com, you'll be able to explore and watch Eastern Africa content. So it's no longer just about Ugandan content. It's Eastern Africa content. All right. And that's why we are streaming East.
So Muzei, all said, the big question is, you've talked about it being a platform that is open to filmmakers. The big question, however, is who qualifies? Anyone qualifies?
Yeah, when we came up with the idea of creating a market for filmmakers, the point was to make it for everyone. We don't want, we want to walk away from the self-censorship.
Yes. Okay,
if we are to be censored, let us leave that to the state that is already trying to censor us, and then yet they're not giving us anything. The Stream East as a market is open to all filmmakers. If you could notice, yes, it's an initiative by Pearlwood, but if you could notice, during the summit we had the Film Producers Guild of Uganda. They were well represented by their president, Mr. Matthew Nabuiso, because it is something that we believe, even though you don't want to be part of Stream East, we want you to pick inspiration and probably do something like this, because at the end of the day, we are winning as a sector. Each person you introduce to digital consumption of content is a win to the entire sector. Yes. This is what is going to define our market worth tomorrow. Okay. So basically, we have limitations. Still, working as individuals has not gotten us any far as creatives, as filmmakers. But this time around, we are saying for each jurisdiction, for each country, for you to have your content onto StreamEast, you either have to be an organization of content creators, or you have to go through an organization that already subscribes to the system.
You're not working with individuals.
No, not at all. I'm also an individual, but I'm part of an organization.
And that's how your content is getting onto StreamEast.
Exactly.
From a layman, I will now pose this question. How is StreamEast, the platform we are discussing now, how is it different from other platforms we've seen around? Of course, before it's coming, we've seen platforms like Afro Mobile, even YouTube itself. How is it different from those and the couple of others?
It's for premium content, pay-per-view. For starters, you watch what you pay for. StreamEast is a platform for and by the filmmakers themselves.
Okay.
So that is something that,
unlike YouTube, who
unlike
might
YouTube,
track its genesis, and now we don't know.
You don't know. StreamEast is where you will go and you order for what you want and you'll get it. Yes, other platforms have you are in position
Unlimited.
to pay for using your mobile money. The same thing applies to StreamEast. The difference is with StreamEast, every penny you pay, you are supporting a local filmmaker. Yes.
Okay. So how is StreamEast linked to the new film ecosystem? You know, to the new film distribution ecosystem.
Like I said, the world is getting digital, and you know, everywhere you go right now, I think very soon we may even normalize sitting for exams online.
Actually, it's already happening.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So when you look at StreamEast, we are not going any different, because at the end of the day, the moment we do something that is not, that people don't relate with, it also risks acceptability, because you know, you're introducing something and people are not familiar with it. But to this to an advantage, we are trying to embrace the digital evolution. We are trying to walk by what is happening. You know, young people today, when you tell them about the analog way of film distribution, you know, the VHS, VHS tapes, they no longer have the time. So people are watching content using their phones. Content is right in their palms. So we are trying to reach our audiences in real time.
Okay. When we discuss market, we cannot run away from the issue of money.
Yes.
And money within the creative sector. I'll be specific. They are collective management organizations that you know, are responsible for collecting revenue.
Yes.
Revenue shares for, you know, content creators, be it artists or filmmakers. Now in Uganda, Uganda Federation of Movie Industries, UFMI, is the CMO for filmmakers. Now we are using the summit as the case study to digest this conversation around distribution. Now, as an outcome also from the same summit was the signing of the reciprocal agreement between the CMO, which is UFMI in Uganda, and Kosozo, which is the CMO in Zanzibar. So how does this reciprocal agreement signed between these two countries, between UFMI and Kosozo, UFMI Uganda, Kosozo Zanzibar, how is it you know, beneficiary to both the two institutions, and what does it mean for the local filmmakers both here in Uganda and in Zanzibar?
UFMI was given a license, I think, in 2009. That's when it was given a license as a collecting society. And as far as I know, to my understanding, UFMI has not had a reciprocal agreement since then.
Yes.
So today, currently, as we speak, you know, the Resora is a first step. I think it is a first step in the right direction for UFMI as an audiovisual collecting society to have a reciprocal agreement with some other, with a fellow collecting society outside of Uganda. And I trust this is just the beginning. A lot more is yet to happen. We believe after the reciprocal agreement with Kosoza, the Corporate Society of Zanzibar, we believe other collecting societies are going to come on board. Already Malawi, I understand, because we also try to use the opportunity of the stakeholders coming together for the summit.
Actually, I was going to ask the question that during the summit we had a couple of member states that took part. Why did we see only Uganda and Zanzibar sign, and what had happened with the rest? Why couldn't be a cross reciprocal kind of arrangement for all in terms of signing?
Yeah, it was intended to be that way, but so somehow we missed out on the collecting society from Malawi. But as well, during the mobilization of these stakeholders, it was on who is willing to move in the right direction.
Yes.
And you may find that in some areas, the collecting societies are not yet there.
Yes.
But in some areas, we were not able to reach them on time. And you can't wait forever.
Understand also because CMOs deal with money. And most of the times, it has happened here in Uganda. You saw the same was happening in Kenya. CMOs are also, one of the biggest challenges they face is internal kind of power struggles and distribution of royalties and all that. But Muzei, for a local filmmaker, this reciprocal agreement between Uganda and Zanzibar, does it mean that now our local filmmakers in Katwe, in Nabulagala, in Makerere, Chikoni there, does it mean that now their content they will make direct money in Zanzibar and their revenue and royalties will be corrected and they shouldn't worry? Because I want for them to understand how this reciprocal agreement is going to directly affect them.
First and foremost, let me start from the other side. Our people need to understand, whereas royalties make meaning for musicians, they don't make meaning for filmmakers.
How is that?
Royalties, for a better understanding, mvandirwa, dessert.
And
exactly. So to filmmakers, it is the market. That explains
royalties
why. Even without it,
yes.
So that's why you find in areas like the US in the West, you will find that audiovisual collecting societies are no longer a thing. They only have a corporate office to register copyright because it doesn't make any meaning. But to a local filmmaker, this is a right step in the right direction. Why? It enhances the protection of our content. Tomorrow we are going to have Ugandan content distributed in Malawi, distributed in Zanzibar, Tanzania, everywhere. Yes, of course, this kind of collaborations that we have, them alone add up to, in a way, contribute to the protection of our works. But still, when you enhance it with an inspection of a collecting society, it gives it more beef, it gives it more value. A thief, when a thief finds your door open in the night, yes, probably you give them the ease to enter your house. But when you lock your door, at least let them break.
Yes.
You give them some work, not to steal for free.
Yes.
So the idea of reciprocal agreements, in a way, they are beneficial. Yes, we might not see the immediate benefit of this reciprocal agreement, but in the long run, as we go, as we move on, TVs, we need to curb down the broadcast piracy. But you can't address these issues when you are not, when you are having content from one jurisdiction.
Yes.
Probably tomorrow, before anybody knows, we are going to have a reciprocal agreement that protects work from England, that protects work from Japan,
and part of their work is being pirated
here in Uganda. So
wechigana one
exactly.
All right. So oyogadde ku royalties royalties in the film industry as being the dessert and not the main deal. I want to believe that as the signing of these reciprocal agreements between CMOs in different countries from within the region, even the dessert collected from within the region will become something big, will become the main course deal, which makes me to question that does the effect of the reciprocal signings, will it ensure enforcement of royalty collection from within the region?
Yes, of course. The purpose for which we have collecting societies is to collect royalties. And because we are having these reciprocal agreements, it will enable for example, to start with, Corporate Society of Zanzibar, it will enable COSOZA to collect royalties on behalf of Uganda. And these royalties will be sent to UFMI, and probably UFMI will send them to the content creators. So I think it is something that is of benefit. Yes, whereas royalties have never made filmmakers rich,
yes,
still royalties provide an enabling environment for correcting societies to protect the works of the filmmakers.
All right. Still speaking about CMOs, back to Uganda here. UFMI, in the recent past, a lot of fire has been inside and within and all over UFMI. And I want to pick from you. What is the way forward, or what is ongoing now with the amendment process of the UFMI amendments?
I think you need to call the CEO of UFMI.
Mr. Umai, I tried to contact him before we got here. Unfortunately, I couldn't get him
to address that. But as far as I know, UFMI, I'm a member of UFMI, though I think I'm giving up on my membership because, bagamba, nalimo bulungi, agira nakowa.
Moving out, signing out as an individual, as an organization.
I don't know. Probably as Pearlwood may buy, because we are having discussions as Pearlwood to really
to quit.
To quit because we don't want to be silent partners.
Yes,
silent. You're having members, but they can't do anything. They're not contributing.
And I want to believe that Pearlwood members contribute to the big numbers that subscribe.
Probably the regulator URSB may not know that, and UFMI may not know that, but we tried to convince them, to tell them, let us institutionalize UFMI so that we may be able to have a national organization.
Yes.
Let us have guilds, let us have institutions, let us have an organization that stands on institutions, but they preferred to remain with individuals. Of course, the constitution of, I think the Corporate Act talks about every member should have, a society should have a vote, and based on that, they try to, it was a long story.
I think you've addressed what my next question was, that, the governance gaps that are in there.
Exactly. You see, all governance gaps will arise, accountability issues will arise. The moment you don't have a structure,
yes,
a structure is one thing that will move an institution. The moment you fail on the structure, you can't, no matter how you may try to give, what is it when you're trying to bring back a person who has, how do they call it?
Down?
No. These people that have fallen in water. Drowned. And then you pull them up, and then that chest
kiss
pumping.
of life.
A kiss of life. No, besides the kiss of life, there is that chest pumping.
Yes.
Okay, whatever it is. Baseseme, yes. So that they can start, resume the breathing. No matter how much you may chest pump an institution of many people without proper structures,
yes,
it will never get life. I want to remind you, and I would want my fellow colleagues here in Uganda to remember the annual general meeting of Uganda Musicians Association. UMA. UMA grew bigger than its constitution.
Yeah.
So UMA reached a point, it had to carry out an AGM. So UMA has members across the country.
That's true. It's a countrywide association.
It's a countrywide association. Now it has to hold an AGM.
Yes.
And that is the only reason it failed to hold an AGM. Because it had grown bigger than its constitution. So when you fail to learn from the mistakes of others, you probably risk going through the same failures, the same falls that they fell. So WUMA, if WUMA had a congress way, an electoral college where regional representatives could actually have delegates come and attend the AGM, probably today would have had a stronger institution. Well, and I can testify without fear of contradiction. WUMA is not as strong as it was before that AGM.
Exactly.
So the AGM affected greatly. It might not have killed, but it greatly affected WUMA. We wanted to have the same steward to the collecting society. Imagine tomorrow where a collecting society is going to have, because it's a national body, is going to have members in Kabong, members in Rwachtura, everywhere in the country. You need to carry an AGM, and then you can't, because one, you don't have the resources to bring all these members, and the members are not even given the money to bring them.
So Mzee Bwanika, with everything in play in relation to the CMO UFMI, what does its future look like? Will the amendment finally happen, and if it happens, what will be left?
No, the amendment is going to happen. We have a child in URSB. They brought lawyers that are very good, fresh from school. They are very knowledgeable about certain clauses.
I know some of your members were very bitter with them, saying, by you being a lawyer and speaking that flowery English does not make you become more understanding in my field of practice.
And I think I maintain the same position. So they speak a lot of English, and we are stuck there.
Yeah.
So the amendment is going to happen. But as long as it remains individualistic centered, we are back to square one. So to someone who looks up to bigger things, you need to spare yourself from the stress of having to try. People look at you as if you're fighting for something. There is not even anything to fight for. So I think it would be just humble of you to step aside and let them be. There are wars that are worth fighting. I will fight UCC for and boycott the Uganda Film Festival to my last breath until they stop the illegal film broadcast. That is worth fighting. I will stand for that. But now, in UFMI, it is not helping me anything.
The last time we were here, the battle was to do with the UCC and the UER.
And it's still on. You think you think it ended? No,
I will shift you from that back to the conversation around distribution. Now we talk about distribution, but what is being distributed is a product, which is a movie. And I want us to just use one case study, and I will draw it to a Wakaliwood film, Rolex Time. What is Rolex Time about? I want you to break it down and tell me about it.
You see, anybody who has followed Wakaliwood from day one, you would appreciate that Wakaliwood is an action movie center. So Rolex Time is simply about, he does what he does best, always, action movie. And, he's trying to reintroduce this young martial artist.
First of all, who is the guy? Who is the team who is the person?
The producer is Ndugunabwana Isaac, the old man. Yes. And he's bringing back this youngster, Isaac Newton. He's the main character. And this Rolex Time is a family movie that I think everybody needs to watch. Being at an administrative panel in Paluwood, I've had a chance to have a look. You call them snippet. Onto the movie. It's really a good thriller. It is something that is it is interesting. It will take away. It will kill the boredom. And Isaac. Nabwana has always done it better. You remember? He's been there. Yeah, he has been there. You remember him in Who Killed Captain Alex?
Yes.
And the way he did his thing. And trust me, this is a new version of him.
Right.
Yes, the quality-wise camera work, camera movement, everything is
nice.
I like the lighting. The action, you see, the choreography, it's a good art piece. And I like the way he's trying to throw it out there to the people to appreciate
My
it.
next question, you're speaking so fondly about the movie.
Yes.
And we've been discussing distribution as one of the problems that are affecting the sector, the film sector. For this particular film, how is it being promoted? What are the plans promoted locally here and then regional or even globally?
Whereas we need to appreciate the global market.
Yes.
It starts with you. It starts with your family. It's a bad thing to try and limit your capacity in the confines of your family.
Yes.
It's not good, but it's a good thing to appreciate that it starts there. So I think he's doing quite a good job trying to promote Rolex to the ground. I've seen Rolex being advertised in Western Uganda, Northern Uganda. I've seen it take rounds in Eastern Uganda. You see, he has reached out to these video libraries, the guys that sell content. He has reached out to fellow filmmakers to ensure that at least each and everybody can talk about Rolex time.
Those are
right
some
now,
of-
we are Rolex time.
Okay. Are those some of the spaces where it's also going to be screened? Is it going to be on Stream Easters, the platform we just talked about? Where can a person check it out? If it is going to the cinema, you know.
Speaking from the point of authority,
Yes.
Rolex time is coming on Stream East
Stream East.
for the Ugandan and Eastern African
African region.
audience. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does its rollout say about evolving release strategies of films in the region?
It's been quite a journey. We've been trying to talk to filmmakers to start appreciating that, you know, a film is as big as you think about.
Yeah. Okay.
Your market. You've seen filmmakers that have done very good content, but then they think small about the markets, and in the end, they have their films at home.
All right.
So,
I had stopped you and shifted you when you were lighting up around UCC, but unfortunately, I have no option. I have to bring it back because as a regulator, it also has a role to play in regards to the channel of distribution. The big question is with UCC, have they played their role?
UCC, which role?
The
For
role,
starters.
the role of yes, they are regulators.
Yeah.
But as regulators, I will tell you part of the issues that are affecting the industry in regards to distribution is having pirated content flow all over the country. So by them not doing their job, which I believe they have the powers to put down all pirated content, it affects your distribution, right?
Yes.
So I want to understand from your take as a filmmaker, producer, how far has UCC gone in helping you solve this problem of distribution?
I appreciate that you finally made a right question in regards to distribution, because when you ask if UCC has done its role, I think if UCC's role is to cripple the film sector, they have played that role rightly. But if it comes to trying to cut down, to do their legal obligation in regards to curbing down piracy, I think they are still failing. And, you know, we are still boycotting the Uganda Film Festival.
But Mzee
so they
Iwanika,
are failing.
When you talk about UCC failing,
Yes.
or not even doing their job of promoting the sector, they recently held UFF, the Film Awards,
So you're
and they
talking-
had winners who were actually given prizes. They were paid off.
Where are the winners? Okay, which movie won a movie of the year in the Uganda Film Festival?
Well, I might
You're a
not
journalist.
let me tell you,
No,
what
you-
I know, all winners were given
No.
prizes. And that is UCC coming in to support.
UCC came up and organized the Uganda Film Festival.
Yes.
I would want to, with all the decorum,
Yes.
to respect your show. They organized the festival for filmmakers that
UFF.
don't have a mind to think for themselves. I am sorry to say here, but I'm unapologetic to those filmmakers because they do not have a mind to reason, to say things and appreciate things the way they are. I'm asking you, what was the Uganda Film Festival movie of the year? I bet if you even still remember the name, you're a journalist. Your job is to report on these kind of issues. What does that speak of the Uganda Film
We
Festival?
reported about that. We put
Yeah,
out lists.
what is the award-winning movie of the year?
Mzee Iwanika,
Who was the actor of the year?
I will shift.
Who was the actor?
So
Okay.
if you're faulting UCC, what should they do now? What should their role be?
You see, UCC
If you're downplaying what they are already doing.
needs to stop thinking about stealing. This Brody Thagare needs to stop thinking about stealing from the creative sector. UCC needs to do its role by curbing down illegal film broadcasts. The moment UCC does that, even the film festivals will begin to make meaning.
Mzee Iwanika, this conversation, when we came into the UCC element, it reminded me of the very last show we did together, and I think I might be forced to calm down and all even take the show towards an end. And what's one action point? I'll take you there as we get to end this particular discussion. What's the action point for government, creators and the guilds? I saw during the summit that we highlighted earlier, Nawiso, who is in the Filmmakers Guild, is it? Film Producers
Yeah.
Guild, was part of it. What's one action point for government? 1, 2 creators, and you all.
To government, I'd want to call upon all government agencies to stand in solidarity against the UCC impunity and tell UCC to stop illegal film broadcasts. Illegal film broadcasts erode us of taxes. Illegal film broadcasts kill youth employment. Illegal film broadcasts will erode our moral values as a state. And to the public of Uganda, I kindly ask you, the Museveni government has failed the film sector by allowing UCC to promote pornography in broad daylight, by allowing UCC to connive with broadcasters and show illegal content. Please come 2026 to the Ugandan community. Let us go for the protest vote. To the filmmakers, wake up and know your values, know what you stand for.
I will take those as your parting shots, Mzee Ibwani.
They are my words.
Do you have any other parting shots?
Unapologetic.
As we end, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I will call the show off as we get to the end. But don't forget that the Living Arts YouTube channel has very many other shows that happen. Tomorrow will be a Thursday, and we shall be discussing with visual artists at 2 p.m. We shall be having a conversation in regards to how the visual arts industry is also evolving and what are the new changes or the new developments in their particular industry. And that particular one is supported by Nakau. Also in the evening, we shall be having a discussion with arts journalists as we digest what is happening in the industry of art, music. And tomorrow, you wouldn't love to miss that one as well.
And maybe, Patrick, if you may allow me,
yes,
it's also a humble appeal to filmmakers.
Yes.
Stream East is here for every filmmaker, so we call upon every filmmaker to appreciate, to embrace.
Yes.
It's probably, if you're not, even when you don't want to have your film distributed through these channels, it is important. It's just humble of you to start appreciating
check it out.
This kind of markets that we've introduced.
Digital markets.
Try and familiarize yourself with the
embrace technology.
Embrace technology, and let us move together in this simple direction. To every filmmaker, don't feel threatened. Don't, there are those people that will say, I don't want to work with so and so, they will steal my film. But even when you have your film in your home, you're not getting anything. So
put it out there.
Yes, put it out there. There is nothing they are going to steal from you when you have nothing. I think it is also important for our comrades to appreciate that if you have 10 million and somebody steals 500,000 from you, you're actually not losing. You're better off a person who is afraid of earning the 10 million because somebody will take away 1 million from them.
I know.
Thank you.
As we close it up, I just remind the people still about Stream East, remind them of how you said next week updates will be made. But for now, Stream East is accessible via any search engine, via you remind the people.
Yeah, right now Stream East is accessible via any search engine. The moment you click you type in www.streameastfilms.com, you will be able to access all the films from Eastern Africa, Pearlwood Films, films from Rwanda Film Federation, Tanzania Film Federations, film from Kenya,
Zambia,
Film and Television Professionals Association, films from Zambia. So when you go to the site, kindly feel free to explore and give us feedback on the areas we need to improve. And next week, we are going to be unveiling the Play Store application and also the iOS application.
All right. Thank you so much, Mzee, for joining me this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be it tonight. And the Film Agenda 256 returns next week, Wednesday, same time, same place. My name is Patrick Sentong. Until then, bye-bye.